Thank you for joining me today on this project. This is a recliner. It's been kept in a garage for a couple of years from what I can gather. The faux leather at the back is quite crumbly. There's 3 fabrics going on, so this is going to be quite an interesting job to put together. So let's get on with it. I've got decorative tacks to remove. They don't want them back on, but I'll still remove them carefully. Oh, maybe not. They'll often be slightly wonky. Sometimes you can reuse them, but a lot of these won't be reusable. As a matter of course, I always take them out carefully. I can hold pieces of fabric down with a decorative tack in an awkward place, so I always keep some. This is the arm front of the chair. It's slightly curved and I have put a couple of staples in to hold it and one at the bottom so I know where it comes to. On the inside of the arm I actually have markings for where it should come to, which I'm trying to keep in line, and then on the outside I just pull it into shape. I cut this at, I think it was 11 inches to make sure that it will go far enough over. Across the front here it's okay to pull it quite tight in, but across the top it's a little bit different. But let's see how we get on. Put that in there and I'll pull this in to the base here where it's a little bit straighter. I don't want to go too close to where it rolls round because I'm putting piping along there and bringing everything in. Across the front here I'm going to pull it in carefully, put a bit of shaping in so it comes in nicely without being too bulky. And again, I'll use the hairdryer in order to do that. This project is really time and patience. I'm going to make some little cuts along here like this. It's like a saddle, it comes down. I don't want to go too far in because I don't want to risk it being shown through at the top of the piping that I'm putting in. That's enough to open it up. I'm going to do the same on the other side, just about 1/2 inch to 1 inch at the most. I want to bring this down. I don't want to bring all of it down too tight, otherwise it ends up rippling, which is not what I want. Put some heat onto here. I need this pleat in here, which is the last one going in, 2.5 inches from the previous one, which takes it to about there. So I'm going to bring that in like that on this side, so it goes up and down, and secure it. I'm going to do the same on the other side to bring the pleat in crossways. Heat it up just like I did. Put a couple of staples in so I can see how this comes down the back here. So I'm going to heat along here both sides, hold it down in the center and just pull one side and then pull the other. I don't want it to be too pulled in because it will ripple here slightly, which is not going to be a good look. And you can see these clips is going to start pulling out as I do that. The back of the arm comes in. I'm going to have to heat it up and pull it down, and I have a pleat going in round about there. That seems to be a natural place to put it, and I'll do the same on the other side. It seems to have gone in quite nicely here, so I'm pleased with that. There is a bit of give, but that will tighten up when I put the piping on. I'm not going to worry about that too much. I cut this 1 3/4 inches because I really don't have that much fabric. 2 inches would be perfect because it is being stapled into place. What I'm doing here is I'm cutting this at an angle all the way across, taking some of the bulk out of the back there. If I hold it like that, you'll see that it's at an angle. Some people, I believe, use a knife to do that, but I just use the scissors. Pop that under there like that. This is the piece I'm putting on. This is just for showing you a little bit of an angle there, like that. And I usually pre-crease it to give it a little bit of structure. And I'm going to sew a little bit further towards the end there, but not much, about 1 inch up from the end. Slide this under here, push that as hard as you can up into there. Pull the fabric from underneath and the fabric over that you're putting on so it's really tight, and sew. As I get a little bit closer, I pull it again, both top and bottom, so that the fabric gets pulled into shape and on down. Although there is a bit of a ridge there, because you've pulled the fabric down and into place, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. This is how you join leather. You could join it with a seam across like I do normally with fabrics, but what I've noticed over the years, especially with a domestic sewing machine, is that the stitches can sometimes pull apart and you can see the piping cord underneath. Once it's been stapled into place and whatever you're putting on top comes in tight enough, it usually doesn't show too much. By putting a bit of an angle on, you have a smoother ridge than if you had it squared off here and here. I've cut back the piping here, put it on the edge so it can come around the back. I want to hide that. And then I'm going to bring it down slightly so the piping is flat underneath that ridge. And I'm going to staple it at an angle. That's going to come around there. That didn't go in as well as it could have done, but I think it'll be fine. I'm going to make my way all the way around as I push this into place. I don't want it too close because otherwise it will be a problem. I'm going to set this about 1/2 inch up from the end, and I'm going to run this side here against the sewing for the piping as I ease it into position all the way around the outside. I'm going to take that just slightly above that staple so I know the first one will go in perfectly. Line it up. Once they're in place, I'm going to just start pulling those almost down to the piping there so that I have a good place to fold the fabric under. I'd already done the other outside arm and I have the 2 inside arms and this outside to do. Really don't have enough fabric, so I'm going to have to be very cautious. There's an extra long piece there which I'm going to pop over the top. I'm going to make sure that all of this is in line. The awkward part is there's curvature going down here and there's curvature going down here, and I have to try to make it look straight. So I'm going to put a couple of staples in here just to hold it, because I don't want that going anywhere, and I'll put them a ways under so it won't affect anything here. I think that looks straight up and down. I'm going to put a couple in the back too. That basically means I've got something to pull against this side and for this side. I really don't want to be coming in too far here, so I'm going to come across like that for now, and my piping is right here, so I'm going to just come in above the piping, and I can come from the top down, put my fingers where the piping is so I don't come in too close like this. I'm very generous, and with my regulator I'm just going to slide the fabric under the teeth of the back tacking down and then back up, because that kind of evens out the pattern. It should go in where I want it to, like that. Push it back in and bring it back up, and then I'm going to just tap that down and into place. At the bottom I'm going to use my regulator and pull out some of the stuffing. Because I left this little space here, I'm going to just fold that under, pop that underneath, fold that into place. I will change that slightly when I get down there, but that will hold for now. Make sure that's all where I need it, and again hammer it into place. When I've finished up there, I'm going to pull this out and cut it, and that's when I will alter the way this goes. I'll also make sure that there's enough stuffing down there to hide that. From here I'm going to just follow the piping up. I'd much rather be generous, and then I can come back in a minute and take it closer if I need to. I'm going to go straight across for now. The reason is that could pull it out of position, and I don't want it out of position. Pull this around, nice and generous, away from the piping. Put that back just a little bit. When I go around a curve like this, I put it in places, but I think I've overcut, so I'm going to pull that out, trim that back just a little bit all the way around, because if it doesn't go under nicely, it's going to be bulky and show. Hold it in place and then pop it underneath those teeth. There we go. Just little patches until it's all nicely in position like that. I think I need to take a little bit more off the top, a wee tad, and pop that in too. There we go. Once that's in, I'm going to hammer that into place as well. There we go. As I come back here, I'll be able to pull it out towards the back. Trim up this just a little bit more so it goes in evenly. You don't want it too tight, but you don't want it too loose. Make sure any filler is over the top and then in. I like that. That's gone in quite well. This is an awkward one because the fabric has stripes on it. The curvature of the chair makes it look a little bit wonky. And I'll finish up on the back. This is the inside arm. I have a seam going all the way across and another one going down the back because this piece of fabric wasn't quite big enough. I lay that all out in a straight line. The top comes up here and then there's enough to go under here. I'm going to start stabilizing it across the bottom and working out where I want it to go. The inside back at the base, I have pulled this down. I'm going to cut. This is where I have a little bit of problems because I can't really reach in there. I put the fabric underneath there and pull it down, and on this side I'm going to do the same. Cut up at an angle, not on the seam, because that's going to be pulled down and into place. And on the other side of there, cut it down and then cut some of that off because I don't want that. Any pieces on top of the wood fold up and into place. You don't want to risk catching that on any of the mechanism. Bring that down, and on the other side. If it's not perfect, it's right under here, nobody's going to see it. Pull it quite hard down. I want it quite firm across the top and attach it. I really want to make sure that that seam is quite straight. I'm going to pull that down. I'm going to take some of that off because I don't need all of that there. Pull that down onto the base. This end, I've actually pulled it down underneath. I'm not going to put the foot on just yet. I'm going to rework some of this. Actually, I will put the foot on just for now so I can stand it upright when I need to. Along the back here, I'm going to pull that down like that and secure it just along this top edge here. The fabric on the other side has not been pulled all the way around. And the same going down this way, just across and in. Keep that folded, pull it round and secure. And then I'm just going to trim back here. The seam here, although it runs to the top, is going to be behind the back, so it shouldn't be visible at all. I made sure that the velvet's all going in the same direction, so even if it does show, it's not going to be obvious. It's just a case of tidying up everything now. I took the piping cord from here across out, and the same on the other side there across in. I've cut back on this side like an L shape and the same on there, and I'm just going to heat this up and pull it until I'm happy with the way it's going to come round the corner here, both sides and into place. Cupped my hands over that so that it would keep the heat in, and now I'm going to pull it hard back and down past where the piping comes in. I think I need to take a little bit more out of both sides because it's a bit lumpy, which means I'm going to have to reheat it again. I'm fighting the AC at the moment. Every time I heat it up, the AC cools it down a little bit quicker than I want it to. I think that will work. I want it almost as wide as there, but not too lumpy. Bring that down so it's even, not too tight. It doesn't come over the width, it comes about even with the width. Push that into the top there like that. I want it to cover the whole of the back. I don't want too much fabric here. I'm going to cut that back a little bit in a straight line to start off with. Make sure all that padding is where I want it. Fold that under, bring that around to the back so it's level with the velvet underneath, and staple that in. I'll probably have to come back and staple it in again once I've got everything where I want it. Down and in, bring that round into the back, fold the fabric over so it's a nice finished edge and secure. I'm going to do that all the way down. I need this outer layer to be as tight as possible, especially at the bottom. That will have to be altered. Again, I'll pull it down and into place, trim that back a little bit, fold that under there like that. Make sure all of that's folded under too, and I'm going to staple down. But I'm also bringing this down and around, down and around, because it is shaped to the back here. I'm going to pull this out and reset this. It won't take 2 minutes. Just going to pull all of this up as far as it will go and secure it. I might have to just alter that too so I can pull that in. Bring this down in a straight line, fold that over like that, pop it on top of there and secure. I'm going to do the same across here. The foot is going to go on and hide most of that, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. Bring that down and up and over as far as it will go and secure. Here I'm going to just cut this back slightly.
Now the front border I lifted slightly to keep it in line. I think it looks better that way.
Thank you for joining me on this project. In some ways it was fun to do because of the shaping, and it also became quite frustrating because of the fabrics and the way it went on, but that's fine. I think it looks really nice and clean without the stitching across here. I personally thought that was quite fussy. I think it's turned out really well. If you'd like to see more from me, please subscribe, hit the bell button, and a few thumbs up would be brilliant. And in the meantime, take care. See you later. Ciao.